See that addendum, it has 4 questions and a little map on it, is because we partnered with the Ottawa Conservation District and some other partners were able to secure some additional funding for the program, through the Regional Conservation Partnership Program. And so in order to meet the requirements of that grant funding, we need to, as a board, have the ability to potentially reprioritize applications for property that satisfies some of those grant requirements. And that's what those questions do, is they give us the ability as a board, so we'll rank and score all of them, and we'll have, you know, highest to lowest properties when they come in. Then we'll have those additional questions answered. And then if, for example, our highest scoring property doesn't satisfy any of those 4 items on the additional addendum there, and say the third highest scoring prior property satisfies 3 of them, we may as a board want to confer and then reprioritize those so that we're satisfying the requirements of that grant funding. We wouldn't be able to select 1 and 3 traditionally because we just don't have enough funding. You know, we don't have a dedicated funding stream here in Ottawa County for farmland preservation, so we're constantly pursuing private funds to do our work. So typically we can only preserve 1 piece of property. So this gives us the board the ability to choose a property that is the right one for this grant and still satisfy our match requirements. So that's all that additional addendum does for us.
Questions for Becky?
Yeah, how many applications have you received, or the county or the municipalities, I should say, that want to put their farm in preservation?
Last year we probably received 13 applications in terms of unique properties over time. We probably had in the neighborhood of 25. I'd have to go back and count just to make sure. And we're probably north of 3,300 or so acres total that have applied for preservation.
So out of the 13, how many do you feel that probably will make your criteria? There should be, based on what I know, with some applications that have already come in. So we'll open in January, and then our applications will start coming in. But we do know that year on year, certain property owners reapply because they weren't selected. And we know that some of those property owners coming in will satisfy some of those requirements. So we're not concerned that we'll not have properties that will satisfy them. But the other thing that we can do going into January is we can also go out and encourage certain landowners that are in areas where we really want to do that work to apply for preservation. So we could go to, say, for example, to Jamestown, where there are areas where there are groundwater challenges, but there's also opportunities potentially in the future for groundwater recharge, and there's high development pressure. That makes it a real sweet spot where we might want to do preservation. So we could visit with landowners out there and kind of recruit, as long as, you know, everything's fair and anybody who wants to apply can. We can go out and visit with certain farmers that we really like to see apply for preservation. One last question.
Yeah.
Out of the municipalities, I know the cities don't count and probably not all the townships, but how many of the townships have signed up to go along with this?
10.
10, okay, thank you.
Those are still the only areas we can do this work. The Regional Conservation Partnership Program does not change that. It's just those 10 townships.
Is there any townships that could go along with this but have decided not to go along with it?
Well, I mean, you could say that of the 7 that have chosen not to for any variety of reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're still working on recruiting additional townships to participate, because it's unfortunate that only 10 of our 17 townships can have land preserved through our program. There's other ways they could preserve, but through our program, only 10 of them.
Okay, thank you, Becky.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any additional questions for Becky?
I just have a comment. The map that goes along with the land use criteria and scoring, that's new this year, correct?
Correct.
And is that something that you know, the Water Resources Commission provides, or is that something that your department itself did?
Correct. Yep. Our land use planner, who specializes in the groundwater initiative, created that map for us. And going forward, that'll probably be a component of some of our overall agricultural prioritization mapping that we're working on right now, and that'll be a piece of it.
So you can see, I'm assuming the pink is, I guess, high usage.
Yep, it would be the low static water levels and also the high sodium chloride concentrations and what they can pull out of those areas. And then the blue is going to be where the areas where we are predicting, and we need more data to support this, but areas where we think we could get some potential recharge of the deep water aquifer.
So in that pink area, what townships would be advisable to get on board?
It would be, let's see, we'd say Jamestown, it'd be Zealand, and then Blendon. Obviously, we've started doing some work there, and there may be some other ones touching it. Allendale doesn't participate, so they wouldn't be one. Yeah, so those would be the primary targets right now.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign, motion passes. Regarding the Stearns Creek expansion, the motion is to approve and forward to the Board of Commissioners a purchase agreement of the property for $242,000 as part of the Stearns Creek expansion.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Kurt, you want to talk about that, please?
Filling in for Jason. I don't know if he's joining online, but he has COVID.
Yeah.
He's working from home. He's fine, but I'm filling in for him. So yeah, this is a project we've been working on for a while to expand our Stearns Creek property. Show you the map, I guess. Although it's a little hard to see what's what here, but the red is what we have now. This is Stearns Creek. This particular piece is this triangular piece right here, which preserves not only some nice natural land, but it preserves a lot of our views from our park looking across. This is highly desirable as development. So it really helps to secure.
Where's that wild rice in between there again?
The wild rice is all through this corridor.
That's perfect to grab that piece onto the wild rice doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
it all fits together. Yes. So we had it appraised.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had it appraised. The owner has accepted the appraisal, and we have a grant to help with it, and we also have a large private donation that will help with it as well. So, really nice addition to the park.
So Bruce, of the 257,000, how much is that as county, I should say, millage money, really, right?
Yeah, 62,000.
62,000, okay. And is there going to be hunting allowed on that?
There is,
Thank you.
per the owner who wanted hunting to
Good.
continue to be
Good.
allowed. So it's going to be
Okay.
on a permit basis, but
Good.
basically all forms of hunting will be allowed at some time during the year.
Good, thank you.
The access point will be obviously from the north part
From
of
the north, from 132nd Avenue, we actually have an easement across this property right here. So you come down 132nd, we'll likely have a small access zone there and you walk in from there. Right now, we're not planning on very much development other than a trail system, and it will be open for hunting activities.
Additional questions for Kurt? Thank you, Kurt.
Sure.
So we have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign, motion passes. And then the next one is regarding the item of Explorers Trail, and the motion is to approve and forward to the Board of Commissioners the bid from Riverworks Construction in the amount of $1,283,936.50 for the construction of the Jenison Mill segment of the item of Explorer Trail.
Supported.
We're excited about this one too. We've been working on this for quite a while. This is a segment that connects from Cottonwood Drive, the new trail we put along Cottonwood Drive when that road was improved, back towards the river, and then back behind the Granville Clean Water Plant where it will connect to trails in Kent
Going that
County.
way.
So this is a really key link in our overall system. We've got big support from Georgetown Township to help fund it. We got a grant to fund it. And we were worried about this given the bidding climate that's out there. But you can see our budget was $1.5 million, which is well above the contract price. That the engineer's estimate was actually $1.7 million. So we're very happy to get it here. This is a really reasonable price, good contractor. Will make a big impact in that area.
Bruce, my only question is, okay, I know where the river bend part is that we purchased, and I walked that area. Okay, now I gotta go to east to pick up this one, right?
Yep.
And can I follow the river? Because the river's there somewhere on the bend. Can I follow the river to pick up this trail?
You
Or-
can't, that's Wallenwood golf course is the big owner between there. So that's why we built this trail from the Bend area down, if you're familiar with it, 10th Avenue.
Yep.
To Cottonwood, down Cottonwood, almost to Baldwin. But before you get to that busy intersection, we're cutting off, getting away from the road, out behind there into this natural land.
So we're going around Wallingwood Golf Course, really, right?
Yep.
You know, we could have bought that golf course too.
Well, we still think
It's for
there's some potential there. We keep hearing that.
Well, I heard it's for sale, and it's, a couple of years ago, it was pretty close to being foreclosed, so.
That's what we've heard. We've talked with them at various times, but it's, it hasn't come.
We'd own Mr. Hopler's condo in that case. She's right.
Yes, it is.
What we would really like, it has, just information, it has quite a bit of lowland along the river. Which
Yeah.
would be great for us. It does have some upland that would be more
Yeah.
developable. We would certainly be interested in the lowland.
Yeah, I think there's a hole number 6 that goes all the way along the river. And when the river goes up, that whole fairway in the hole is underwater, so.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Bruce.
Construction.
Kurt, it's Kurt.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Kurt.
Construction will be next year.
Thank you.
We'll probably start actually
I need someone to correct me.
removing trees and so forth, and then.
That's okay, Brian.
Any additional questions on this motion for Kurt?
So how many miles are we going with this?
This is only like a mile and a half.
Okay,
It's just the
okay.
critical piece.
Okay.
Must be some board work.
There's a lot of
Just
boardwalk.
right here. Okay,
Across
okay.
Rush Creek.
That's-
we've got
that's
a bridge
gonna
over
say.
that, Boardwalk through a lot of the lowland.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Kurt. So we have a motion and support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. Motion passes. Discussion items under legislative issues, current legislative priorities. John?
Yeah, the only changes here, the Senate and the House passed the bill to add a Fifth Circuit Court judge here in Ottawa County. And so we are expecting the governor to sign that bill within the next couple weeks or so. And so that will go into effect January 1st, 2023. The other update from the previous month is as you know, the Senate passed the bill to extend commissioner terms to 4 years. That was referred to the House back in June. And that bill is now advanced out of the House committee without any amendments. And we're anticipating that the House would vote on that by the end of this year as well. So that seems to be moving along. And it didn't have any amendments. There was that hold up a little bit with the county, those counties with county executives. But the bill advanced out of committee without any amendments that addressed any of the concerns from the county executives. So we do expect that to go to a vote of the House.
That passes, would that be 2024?
That would be 2024, beginning with the November 2024 general election. So those are the only changes from last month. We still have some of the bills that not much action has been taken on those, but those two have been the.
If it doesn't pass, so John, then it starts all over again for another year, doesn't it? Yep. Okay.
John, is that common that they do bills for for a certain court judge like that, or don't you know?
Yeah, I mean, and actually this bill wasn't just for Ottawa County. It was for Wayne and Muskegon counties to add a judgeship in Muskegon and Wayne counties and to retain a judgeship in Saginaw County. Apparently Saginaw County was going to lose a judgeship. And with this bill, they will not lose it. So this.
Well, when you get Wayne on there, that should help everything out, right?
Well, you'll get support. I mean, yeah, honestly, and we would support Wayne County because they're supporting us.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so that actually helped, not hurt.
So is it law, John, that in order for a judge to be added, that it needs to go through the House and the Senate?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And Representative Meerman was the sponsor of the House bill on this one. So
That goes on the ballot when in 2022?
so it'll become effective, it will be end of 2022 because the judge would take his or her judgeship January 1st, 2023.
So there would be an election this coming year for a
Yeah.
judge.
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope.
John, any feelers out there as to where the Senate is leaning toward 4722 House bill or Senate Bill 446? And that's
That's the short-term rental
Right.
bill. Right now, I think it's not looking good according to Bob DeVries, so we're still lobbying against it. Philosophically, not just for short-term rentals, but any bill that usurps local control. You know, we've always taken the position, you know, let the locals decide things like zoning. But we've tried to make the argument that this is a property rights issue because the other side has said, hey, people should do what they want with the property. And we're saying, but what about the neighbors? They have property rights as well. But this is
Well, so when you say it's not looking good, it's not looking good in the sense that it might pass.
passed, correct? Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it passed the House.
Yeah, it passed the House and Representative Lilly voted against it.
Yep.
But
Slaw and Merriman
voted for it.
for it. And I heard Brad talk to the Zealand Township Board about this bill. And he thought there was enough restrictions in it. And one of the trustees brought it up too, thought it was a lot of restrictions for someone to rent some property. It's just that once you got the horse out of the barn,
Right.
you know, in 2 years, somebody's gonna say, you know, why don't we tweak that bill a little bit and give them a little bit more?
The danger here is they're sticking their nose in zoning issues,
Yep.
local zoning issues. And that to me should be left to the
Yep.
locals to decide
Thank you,
that.
John. I tried to tell, you know, I got the whole Wimlar real estate firm is behind this bill.
Yeah.
Fully. I mean, they're behind it. And I'm saying you're losing local control. Be careful.
Right. Right. So,
John, is there and I think I've asked this question before, and I don't know exactly what Bob's role is, Bob DeVries. Is there a way to determine how the governor is leading on some of these priorities?
yeah, I mean, they try to do that on all the bills. So like on the 4-year terms, for example, the indications they've got from the governor's office is she's likely to sign that bill.
Right.
So they do make inquiries on that. Sometimes they'll get clear feedback and sometimes they'll get non-committal. And it may be having to do with horse trading kind of things. Here, I'll sign this if you help me out on that type of thing. But we haven't heard too much on the governor on the short-term rental. She hasn't really weighed in either way, frankly, on that, which leads us to believe she doesn't care too much and it may be part of a horse trading thing with her where I'll support or oppose this in return for something else.
John, who's supposed to enforce those restrictions?
Well, yeah, the local government.
I
Yeah, that's right.
mean, that's gonna be an impossible
Yeah.
task.
Yep.
I can imagine that the sheriff department will be getting calls about 20 cars parked out in front of my driveway, it's my neighbor's house.
Yep.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
Anything
But
else?
now they're supposed to follow the local ordinances of noise,
Nuisance stuff.
occupancy, yeah, all of that. It's supposed to follow that. And I thought they said they could pull his rights, the property owner of that property.
Yeah, again, it just, you said it well, Al. It opens the door where they stick their nose into
Yep.
local zoning. So if this is allowed, what's the next thing?
Mhm.
So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Next is our second opportunity for public comment, and I don't see a lot of people here in the audience,
Thanks.
so we'll skip that. Before we adjourn, do any of the commissioners have any other comments today on anything they want to bring up or discuss? Okay. All right, then a motion to adjourn?
Come
With support?
Sport.
All those in favor say aye.
on.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.